I've been struggling kind of with this philosophically with society, in that on the one hand, I believe in the holy individual. I believe the individual is the world's smallest minority, and I believe special people can change the world. But I think that has been co-opted into this idea that it's okay to be narcissistic, and that everything that came before you was done by somebody who was stupid or morally flawed, or in some way, we can just forget the past. I think that our generation and the generations after us are very much struggling with the gratitude mentality, and we take for a remarkable amount of granted the sacrifices that were made to give us what we have today. Now, that doesn't mean, that we need to sit there and bend a knee and pray to the altar of the great generations past. But at the same time, like, this idea that we know better than everybody that's ever lived in history, and that we are the smartest people ever because the information box tells us so, is something I find really grotesque, and I think it's having a really bad effect on society in general.
I agree with you. It's funny. I always use the example of the light bulb, right? I say, who invented the light bulb? And you get multiple answers, right? You got Tesla, Westinghouse, Edison. Somebody's going to come up with it.
It was an intern at Edison,
right?
Bell Labs, Edison Labs.
It keeps flipping one way or the other, but somebody invented it, right? And then I say, okay, well, who invented the light bulb above your head? And people say, I don't know. Who made a better bulb? And they say, well, I mean, the guy above my head. Okay, the guy you don't know made a better bulb than the man who invented the bulb.
Sure.
Isn't that not true?
Yeah, it's who was smart.
I heard that one of the original light bulbs made is like still burning.
Oh,
and that they made these light bulbs shittier to keep us buying light bulbs.
Well, what's the word? I can tell you when it happened. 1917. It's oh my God, Omri, what is it called? It's like controlled obsolescence or something. Like, what the?
I think it might be controlled obsolescence.
It's something.
Yeah, so it becomes that's obsolete if it defects.
That's in every product.
Well, they literally it was like at the World Fair or something like that. The same people, and this is why I hate the World Economic Forum, Mickey. The same people that decided that we need a worldwide centralized bank. We need the income tax, the federal income tax. We need the UN. It all happened in the same conference essentially, and they were also like, by the way, the shit we're making. It lasts forever.
Too good.
Can we stop? How the hell? Guys, with all due respect, I'm General Electric, and I sell one refrigerator every 60 years. Can we, maybe calm down a little bit here?
Yeah. We need these things to conk out a little quicker.
Yeah. It's the same thing with cars. I think not necessarily looking at how long it lasts. I'm talking about the efficacy and the efficiency of it, right? Okay. So if we look at it, does this one give us more lumens and generate more light at a cheaper price with less process, easily, readily available? For sure. It's way more efficient, way more effective. We don't have the huge apparatus and all the other structure.
Right.
We're able to get those resources easier. Was this guy smarter than that guy, which actually leads me back to where you went? Was this guy smarter than the guy who invented it, or was the guy who invented it smarter than him? The guy who invented it for sure had novel thought. He was actually probably way more ingenuitive.
He was the original thinker.
Right.
Sure.
Way more ingenuitive than the guy who made it.
It's easier to take something and upgrade it rather than create something.
There you go.
The Japanese model of Kaizen, for sure, yeah.
100%. So that's what we've done in society, right? We've taken things that people have done, and we've said this.
Are you admitting to cultural appropriation? That's it. Mike Barwis admits to being a cultural appropriator right here on Slick and Thick. You heard it here first. The gotcha.
Innovation. We step it up.
That's the way it used to be called evolution. It used to be a good thing.
Yeah. And I think we still come up with new novel things for sure. But oftentimes what we're doing is we're making something else better. And for some reason our ego doesn't allow us to admit that it existed and we made it better. Instead of saying, look, I got this, it's mine, his is all wrong. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to make something better. I actually like when Tom House wrote the book and came back and said it was better the second time. Yeah. Don't pay attention, because at least he's acknowledging that what he did had novel thought, but what he does now is more refined and better than what he did before.
And not only that, but there's an authenticity in that sort of humility that goes, yeah, you should listen to me because I thought it was right then and it was right then, and then I got more information. That's something. Maybe it's the people planting their flag. We talk about credentialism a lot on this podcast, about how people will have never worked in any society whatsoever, any tangible aspect of it, but they've studied a PhD. And I think one of the things that separates you is that you can read the studies, but you also competed at a certain level to be able to translate that to somebody who doesn't have the time or effort or energy to understand. And also, you can tell what's bupkis and what's not, because Mickey says it all the time. There's C degree, there's C degree doctors. We've gotten to a place in society where, your credentials are supposed to
we worship the degree.
We worship the degree, and it's like, how dare you question me? How dare you trust the science? It's such elitist nonsense. Yeah. Literally, the lady we talked about at the at the school board 2 weeks ago, where she was like, "Why are we listening to parents? I have a PhD in education. Yeah, you don't have kids.
Yeah,
what the
exactly.
fuck? Like it's asinine." And the wildest part, my sister works in education, and we got into this about. She was like, "Well, a PhD does mean something." Yeah, I said it means you're really obedient. You can put in your work on time. Sure.
You showed you could show up at a place for 8 years or whatever.
I'm like, Emily, with all due respect, I love you to death. I guarantee you spent your first 4 years of college learning about the works of people who never went to college.